Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Heike and Lola is currently taking a short break. We just finished our coat art unboxing, which you probably won't see until after this whip and chat. I'm not sure yet. And I thought I would record another whip and chat and spend some time on this wonderful full crystal painting I got from the lovely Christina from Rainy Day Diamonds. As you can see, I am mostly finished this. These are my last two sections and I hope to finish them today. Hey, baby girl. Yeah, hi. If you're careful, you can come on the table. That's not careful. That's glue. Stepped right into it, kitty. I hope to finish this today, so you might even see the final review before you see the whip and chat. Still not sure. As you can see, I am currently recording more videos than I know when to post. That's a first world problem. Yeah, what now? You don't know where to lie down. Not there. There's glue. Am I being a meanie again? Should I put up your bed on the table? Would that help? She has been very clingy in the last few days. I have been traveling for work quite a bit recently and I have been away 3 whole days last week and she's still not over it. So, let me really quickly grab this nightmare to happen. As you can see, it's full of cat hair. It's her bed. I have the hope that she will lie down in here. And she's interested. Very interested. Let's see if I can actually show you. There she is. If we are lucky, she's going to lay down. It's looking good. Looking very good. Okay, I think we have a winner. So, let's get the camera back. Sorry for that, but we might have some peace and quiet now. I've tried this trick before in the living room while I was working on the cat banner for my coat hanger, which is still not completed, I'm sorry. But I'm going to show it to you. Actually, I posted pictures of the finished framing on Instagram. I'm going to insert them here. And all that's missing now is I need to attach the hooks somehow and then I will hang the whole thing up. I'm not completely clear yet how I'm going to finish this. To be honest, I didn't have a lot of time thinking about it because of all the business stuff. So, what else is new? I received some mail from Ireland today from the lovely Rachel Ray. As I have mentioned in my show and tell about diamond painting pens, I have ordered from her pen shop before, and she recently added some more pens into her shop. These lovely cherry blossom and tulip pens, which are super fun because they are floppy. She has them in multiple versions, so the tulip is actually a color changing one. I can't show you the color change. I need sunlight for that, and in my office there is no sunlight afternoon. And Lola is trying to make grabby paws at the pens. Yeah, I know, they flop. Very interested. Very interested. Yeah, no eating the pen, please. I think I have to show you yet again. Careful. Although, I think this thing is actually changing a little bit of color right now. I'm using a daylight lamp, maybe that's why. I'm not sure. And let's adjust that yet again. So you can buy this in 3 colors. Mine is changing to purple. And then there's also blue and pink. I'm putting them away in a moment. Just keep calm. And then she has 2 stages of floppiness for them. This is very floppy. And then there's a more stable version. And you can also buy this one unconverted. So it's still a pen, a gel pen. And then it's even more stable. The cherry blossom one is available in diamond painting pen version and pen version. So I don't think there's a more stable version of the diamond painting pen. Rachel, if there is, maybe leave a comment below for the people. I'll pin it. Yeah, so I got these 2 today and I'm absolutely in love with them because they are actually very fun. Kitty, please don't step on the glue. Please. So, let's avoid accidents. Probably shouldn't have pulled out the pens. I should have known she would use them as a toy. So, anyway, getting back to this kit. So you have seen the unboxing very recently. I started on this couple of days after receiving it, actually. So I think I filmed the unboxing on a Friday and I started on Sunday. I originally intended to start right away, but I have to admit I was feeling very... Just a moment. Oh, cat hair. I was feeling a bit burned out that weekend and I took Saturday off and I didn't really feel like doing much on that Friday either. So I started working on it on Sunday. And today is Tuesday, so today is officially day 10 since I started on this kit, and I think it's day 5 working on it. Taking out the days I did not work on it. Yeah, it's all very confusing. I'm sorry. So one thing I realized I didn't show you in the unboxing was the macaron she sent. Because this is actually filled with blue wax. There were 2 pieces each in there. So I also had a blue one because I got 2 kits. And there were also 2 pieces of blue wax in there. It's the first time I've been using the blue wax and I like it very much. I've seen there's blue, yellow and white. I have no idea what the difference between those 3 colors is, but I've heard before that the blue wax is actually very good and I can agree it is. There's typically a lot of different versions of the pink wax and not all of them are good in my opinion, but this one I like a lot. So let's pull out the key. So you can see I have not cut it up. I'm working straight out of the bags and I just pick my number here and look up which symbol it is on the key. I also could look here on the side. As you can see, I've put some washi tape down because the glue runs a bit over the drill field and I didn't want to stick any fuzz and dirt on it. So I choose a dark red glittery tape because I thought it would fit the sunset very well. Let's check. I think the camera is still not back to. Yeah, now it is. So I thought I was going to try to record another whip and chat. I have not really prepared anything. I thought I'd give you a real life update, and then if I didn't come up with anything to talk about, which is very likely, hi cat, she's back, I have a tag. So I decided to start on the tag that Rachel is currently doing in her whip and chats, which is the random question tag, I think it's called. It has 150 questions, so it should give us a lot to talk about. I hope. So we don't have any black, we don't have any of that blue, but we have this one. Alright, so real life updates. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot. I have currently 4 projects on my docket, and 2 of them are pretty big, 2 of them are rather small, and I had to really kick off one of the big ones last week. I had already officially kicked it off, I think a month ago, But I needed to go there and check because this is actually going to be a paper nightmare. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm picking out the drills that have the silver coating on the wrong side. With crystal kits, you always have them. And sometimes you can also see drills that look a bit strange, and those are usually concave on the back. I'm picking them out as well. Something I didn't realize upon unboxing, but what I like very much about this kit, I'm not sure if you can actually see that, but this kit comes with 2 different types of crystals. So usually crystals have a cut with a table on top, and the regular resin diamonds have this pointy cut with no table, and they usually have more facets. And in this kit, for the first time ever, I have seen crystals that are actually cut with, I guess it's 26 facets and no table. And I love them because they are so much, they have so much more depth than the regular ones. So yep, very much in love. Absolutely dig it. There are also, or there's one color. I've only seen one in this kit, but Christina told me that this has happened before. There's one color that has both cuts in the same color, which was a bit weird at first because the pointy cut looks darker. So the drill color looks darker than the one with the table. And at first I thought it was 2 colors mixed up, and then I remembered that she told me that sometimes these get mixed up, and I realized, okay, that's how it looks when that happens. But on the canvas you can't really see. I guess you have to know that there are 2 different cuts in the same color, and then you can see that some of them look darker and some look lighter. But who would know that afterwards? Quite honestly. If the drill manufacturer would ask me, I would actually tell him, you know what, go full pointy cut, because they are really, really, really pretty. And I think they would add a lot of depth and maybe even more sparkle. I don't know. I mean, crystal kits sparkle like crazy, so it's really hard to tell if it sparkles more or less depending on the cuts, really. I tried to take a bit of footage yesterday in real sunlight, and I was basically blinded. Maybe I can add this in here. I'll try. If you see very sparkly sunlight footage of the sunset painting now, I managed it. Anyway, I was talking about my fun projects. So I mentioned before I'm doing basically real estate projects for my company, which means office moves, closures, consolidations, openings. And I'm currently opening a new big one, and moving people out of the old one into the new one. This one is going to hit the fun phase in September, October. So still pretty quiet. Then I am moving, I'm consolidating a whole city into one office. So we have two different office buildings in the city. We are renting 3 floors in one of them, partial floors, that is, not whole floors. And we have another one at the other end of the city, and we have now decided, because one of the contracts was actually running out, to consolidate them into a new office. That's the one I visited last week. And this is actually our HR and travel department, so to speak. So they work with a lot of paper still. The digital era hasn't reached this part of the companies yet. Which has to do something with law and what you need to do in paper and can do in digital. It's, if you ask me, it's very stupid. Taking a drink really quick, because in my opinion there's no reason to kill that much trees just for fun, but it's the law, so what are you supposed to do? So I'm moving these offices, and I had to really go there and check and see what is in scope of moving. And let me tell you, I expected the worst already, but it was so much worse than what I expected. So much paper. It's incredible. And of course, the people working there, they tell me, yeah, we have to move that all. We have to keep it all. So we are, of course, keeping archives where we can send stuff that is no longer needed to be on site all the time. There are regulations how long you have to keep certain files on site, how long you have to keep them in general before you're allowed to destroy them, and at which point you can put them into a central archive. But putting them into our central archive is actually work, because you have to go through all your stuff and decide what can be archived. That will take up time. You have to either pack the stuff and send it to the archive, or you have to request the people who handle the archive to come in and collect stuff. That is work. So generally people are not fond of it, because it takes away from their time they have each day. And it seems that everyone but me is so incredibly busy in this company that they can't do anything but their daily business. I wonder what that feels like. Because for me, it's usually I'm busy for a few days, and when I'm busy, I'm incredibly busy, and then I'm bored. That's life. So yeah, I had to go there and check, and really these people keep telling you, yeah, we have to keep it all. And then you talk to their boss, and then the truth usually comes out. So after my first shock, that one site actually had, I don't know how many built-in closets. So they didn't keep their files in cabinets like the other site did. They had built-in closets, and they were all, or built-in cabinets, they were all full. I saw that, and I really wanted to cry, because, oh God, I have not enough space to put this all in the new location we have rented. So our management decided we had to save money, and that meant we couldn't rent as much floor space as we wanted to. So it's going to be very tight now, a tight fit. And there's not much space for an on-site archive. So basically it's going to be an open plan office, and on that open plan office I have to try to put in as many cabinets as I can to get everything stored away that has to stay on site. And I have to somehow get people to archive everything that does not have to be on site, because otherwise we are fudged. So yeah, I had to check this out. I was actually pleasantly surprised about a lot of things there, mainly about the people. So if we recall the last time I talked about one of the moves I did, you might remember that I came to the conclusion that the people were horrible. They behaved very entitled, very horrible. I think they didn't even realize how hard they made it for me. And how bad the way they behaved was. I think they still haven't. They are still complaining, though I mostly don't listen, because I'm a project manager. I don't deal with their daily crap. So I was pleasantly surprised about the way these people were. You might remember I faced a move where pretty much nothing was packed. People seemed extremely surprised that they were expected to not pack up their crap, but also, you know, the stuff in the kitchen, because that has to go somewhere as well. And yes, that's communal space, but you know what? It's your communal space. So have a discussion between yourself. Make the time. Everyone gives, I don't know, 30 minutes of his or her time, and then things should be fine. And if things are not fine, and I'm just talking common space here, then there's something inherently wrong, and you have to speak up and tell me so I can plan to send you help. But not just leave everything as it is and then act surprised on moving day when things go up in a flaming pile of poop. Like they did. So basically, I had this this routine, talking to people, explaining to them, you have to pack this, you have to pack that, and these guys, the only answer they always gave me, yeah, sure, that's sure, yeah, you don't have to tell me that. That's just, every sane person knows that. And I thought, where were you a couple of months ago? I could have used some sane people there. So that's already looking a bit better. If they now manage to archive their crap, I'm going to be happy. Yeah, I also like the city very much. So it's in East Germany, and I have to admit I haven't seen much of the East. As you might or might not know, Germany had been divided for several decades. After the Second World War, part of it, East Germany, belonged to the Russians. So I grew up in the American sector, and there was also a British, a French, and a Russian sector. So East Germany was the Russian sector. And after the Allies fell out, Germany got divided, and after a very famous quote from the East German president at the time, which basically was, no one intends to build a wall, they build a wall. And yeah, the rest is history. We reunified officially in 90, but the wall fell in 89 when I was 8 years old. Still remember the day. I totally did not understand what was happening. I was way too young to understand what was actually going on there and how much this actually meant and how big this event was. But I still remember my mom crying when she saw it on TV, and I still remember that it gave me the goosebumps when I saw the pictures of the people tearing parts of the wall down and being allowed to drive through to the western part of Berlin for the first time and stuff like that. So that's very, very ingrained in my mind. But what I never really did was visit this part of Germany. So there were 2 school trips when I was in high school, I think. So I think it was high school. Might have been 10th grade, which is still middle school here. We went to a concentration camp close to Weimar, which is called Buchenwald, because this is just part of the curriculum. At some point in your school career, you are going to visit one of the concentration camps. And this was, I think, the closest to where I grew up. So we went there, and that was the first time I ever went to East Germany. And then in grade 11, I think it was, we went to Berlin for a week. And of course, we visited East Berlin then as well. And the only time after that I went to East Germany was in, I think, 2006. when I went back to Berlin on my own for fun. And I've mentioned before, I don't travel if I don't absolutely have to, which means if I don't travel for the job. So I've never had a reason to go there. But I was really surprised about this city because it doesn't exactly have the reputation of being pretty, but it is really, really pretty. I mean, it's also not a very big city, so it doesn't have this feeling of a big dirty city to it. It also can't grow because of the way it's built. It's pretty much in a there's forest around it, and then it dips down, and in this valley basically they built the city, so it can't expand. And it was very, very pretty, and people were very nice, and I enjoyed it. And I actually I chose my hotel based on location, so I wanted to be very close to one of the old and the new office, so they are basically a few hundred yards from each other. And I chose a hotel right in the middle, and this hotel was actually dead smack in the center of everything. So when you went out the door, you were right in front of a big cinema. You were right in the middle of so many restaurants and stuff like that. So this was really nice. And I know I have to go back at least 2 more times before this move is actually complete. One time for the move as such, and at least 1 more time to check if everything is going all right, because we don't want to repeat the last experience. And as I said, they have a lot of stuff to move. So we are going to make very sure everything is actually going as it's supposed to go. There will still be things that will go wrong. There always are. But we want to avoid anything that's avoidable. So yeah, that was the pleasant part of the surprise, of the travel. Sadly, this time around, Diamond Art Club did not contact me with with telling me we are going to give you gifts. Didn't expect it, but yeah, that would have been funny if that had happened again. What I didn't enjoy very much was the train ride. It wasn't quite as long as the last one, but for some reason it dragged on. Don't know. And on the way back, there was actually people are strange, you know. You can make a reservation for a seat very easily. You just, if you are like me and you book everything online, you just check a box and then you get a seat reservation. It does cost you €2.50, which is not a lot in my opinion. The train ticket as such is so much more expensive. Just pay these stupid €2.50 for a seat. But some people just don't want to do it. I guess they are like I am with shipping costs. I just don't like paying them. So if a shop offers me a free shipping threshold, I'm going to order enough stuff to reach that threshold. If I need it or not, I don't care. I want something else for money than just a package delivered. But on the way back, there was actually a lady getting on the train in Frankfurt main station, and she found her seat and someone else was sitting in the seat. It happens all the time. But usually if you tell the person, I'm sorry, but I have reserved this seat, and sometimes they want to see your reservation, but usually they are pretty good about it and don't, then they usually get up and look for another seat. There are very often open seats in the trains. That one had a warning attached to it that it was very highly frequented. I mean, it was the Friday afternoon train ride. That's usually always very booked because people want to go home. And there are a lot of people who are actually commuting a long way for work and probably stay the whole week wherever they work and then return home. And this lady who was sitting in the seat of this person coming on the train in Frankfurt, she started a discussion. She didn't want to get up, even though this person had booked the seat, had paid for it. She thought she had the right to tell her, you know what? Go and love yourself. And this actually dragged on for several minutes until the guy sitting in the row behind lost his shit, pardon my French, and basically scolded the person in the seat, not getting up, that she was out of her mind and she needed to get up right now and let that lady who had paid for the seat sit down. She did. And when she pulled her luggage down from the luggage department, she hit that woman in the face with her bag. I thought I entered Twilight Zone, quite honestly. Yeah, I fully expected this to turn into something even nastier at that point. But I guess the lady who then got her seat was just happy to see her go. But why are people doing this? I mean, this, you know, if you book a train ticket, they tell you you might want to consider getting a seat reservation, and it's not costing the world. So either do that or be a decent human being, and when you take up a seat someone else had paid for, lift your ass out of that seat and scram. Oh, yeah, nasty, really nasty. I guess this was one of the more unpleasant things, even though I was not directly involved. Didn't even notice right away because I had my headphones in. I just noticed that somehow suddenly tension was rising up in the coach. Yeah. Always strikes me as weird what people do, why they do it, why they tend to be so aggressive about things that are really not that important. But I was very happy when I was finally home, and yeah, ever since I have returned home, Lola has been very, very clingy. She did not like me being away for 3 days. She, except for last night, I told Christina she's a very smart cat. I threatened her if she wouldn't stop. This has actually the silver on the front. If she wouldn't stop waking me up during the night, I would trade her in for a younger model. She has been waking me up every night for cuddles. I don't know if she wants to make sure I'm actually still there and still alive. I have no idea. It is cute on the weekend. If I have to get up the next morning and actually work, not so much. So I threatened her last night, and she actually let me sleep last night. So I hope we are back to a bit more normal. I mean, she is my baby, and I get it. She's very attached to me, and it's very uncommon for me to be away so much. In the job I had until end of last year, I never traveled, which was actually a good thing, and I am now regretting switching jobs, quite honestly. I mean, no one told me I would be expected to travel as much as I do right now. I knew about this once a week going to the main office in Eschborn, and I agreed to that because that's actually, while it's annoying, it's manageable. But going to all these different cities that are sometimes very far away, not being allowed to book a plane and go by train, which takes up whole days sometimes, working days. I mean, that trip I took last week was one way 6 hours. That's nearly a whole working day for me. I don't know how this is considered productive compared to just taking a plane, have a 1 hour flight, and maybe a half-hour commute from my home to the airport, and then again from the other airport to the office or hotel. In my opinion, that would be much more efficient. And it's even not that much more expensive. I've checked it when I had to go to Hamburg. The train ticket cost over 300 euros. The plane ticket would have been only a few euros more expensive. It was also in the 300 something range. So in my opinion, that's completely crazy. And flying from here to Hamburg would have been 1 hour and 30 minutes. Going by train, 7 hours. So, but yeah. Of course we do it the stupid way. And it's not even that I like flying so much, but I think you should be more efficient with people's time. That's another thing I find very rude. Being so inefficient with people's time. And going for 3 days was my idea, because after what I experienced in Hamburg, I wanted to have enough time to actually spend time, and I did have more than enough this time. So I started my trip on Wednesday noon, or 11 o'clock actually. Started here. I arrived at the hotel around 6. And then I had a full day the next day, which I spent in the 2 offices we are moving, and another half day on Friday, which I mostly spent on the construction side of the new office. It was a bit more than I needed, but it's either too little or too much, so I prefer too much. Even if this means it keeps me 1 more night away, but at least I don't have a heart attack by the end of the day or a nervous breakdown. Anyway, so this week no traveling planned, thank God. Next week I have no idea yet, but I guess if they don't come up with anything by tomorrow, it's just the usual Eschborn thing, and then we are good. So what else is new? Not much really. My grandma is now allowed to walk. You might remember she broke her femur bone in October, end of October, and she had a very major surgery because of that. And then the bone didn't heal as well as we hoped, so it took until, I think she got the all clear end of June, so that would have been like 8 months, where she wasn't allowed to put a lot of weight on her leg. I think it was something like 20 or 30 kilos, which is not a lot. Not at all. It's like 60 pounds or something like that, 40 to 60 pounds. Not enough for walking. But now she's allowed to, and my mom sent me a video clip, that was smart, of her walking from the cafeteria back to her room. Good God, that woman is running. I mean, she's nearly 91, and she wasn't that mobile before all that happened, which was mostly because she decided one day she didn't want to walk any longer, and we could just cater to her like a little queen on her throne. But now she is really determined to get her mobility back, and of course she has to use the help of a, is it called a rollator in English? You know, that little wagon you use to walk. She has to use that kind of walking aid now. She probably won't ever be able to walk without one again, which is fine. She's doing fine with that, quite obviously, because I saw this video and thought, holy hell, she isn't walking, she is running. And I'm so happy and so proud about that. That heat wave we had a couple of weeks ago, though, oh boy. This is not a good thing for old people. And the house my grandmother used to live in, it didn't get a lot of sunlight during the day. Especially not in the living room where she spent all of her day. So basically even in the heights of summer she was always freezing cold. And now in this home she's living in, She has a room which heats up quite a bit, and she suffered for these 4 or 5 days where we were actually closer to 40 than 30 degrees. She really, really suffered. So I'm glad we are now far away from these temperatures. I mean, they have been threatening us with going back over 30 this weekend, but that's fine. 30 is fine, but 40, come on, guys. Who needs that? I don't. So I'm actually pretty happy with how things are now, and I think she's too. So yeah, that's the good news from the family front. The certification I was so unhappy about is over. I didn't go. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I didn't go. Wouldn't have been able to either, even if I wanted to, because this Hamburg project was killing me and still killing me over that long weekend. The boyfriend went. No idea how it went. I didn't ask. Bad me. What else is new? One of my friends told me on Thursday that he quit. He's in the UK, and we used to work together a lot. In my previous job, he was a project manager, and I was responsible for internal IT in the company. So we always worked together on. He was doing the real estate projects I am doing now for this new company, and we always worked together, and we actually became friends. We've never met, but we clicked. We really clicked, and we spent time talking. And I remember when we had one very, very bad phase project-wise, where they really put a lot on us, and he actually had to work through the weekends. I spent one of my weekends being online and just talking to him to keep him sane. Yeah, we really bonded over that weekend. And he told me on Thursday that he is finally leaving the company. He found a new job. He actually told me his last day was last Friday, but I've seen he was online today. So if he's still online tomorrow, I have to call him and ask him what this is about. I hope nothing is wrong with the new job, because I know he's been looking for a long time, and he sounded very, very relieved that he's finally getting out of that company. So I have to see. But even better news, he's also looking for a girlfriend. He has very bad luck with women. He also is telling himself that if I didn't have the boyfriend, we would be the perfect pair. We wouldn't. We would kill each other. We really would. But he doesn't see that way. That's probably the pink glasses, right? Wishful thinking. But he is using dating sites, and he seems to have found his unicorn. So he's very specific about what he's looking for in a woman, and it's not exactly what you would find in a woman, quite honestly. Not in a lot of them. So he's very into flying, he's very into rugby, he's into motorcycles. Nothing wrong with all of that, but he wants a girlfriend that is basically him, with boobs. So, and I kept telling him, you have to adjust your expectations. Don't expect to find it all. Be happy if she likes motorcycles, or be happy if she actually enjoys rugby. Because quite honestly, who does? And yeah, but he wants it all. And ideally, she shouldn't have any kids, because I think he's a bit awkward with kids. And meeting a woman in the age range he's looking, because he's 54 now, so he's looking in the 50 age range. He's not looking for a young girl, thank God. It's usually teenage kids, and I think he had some bad experience with that, and I guess it's easy to have a bad experience with teenage kids, because they can be assholes. But yeah, I told him you can't expect to find a middle-aged woman with no kids at all and to fit all your weird hobbies that are not typical for a woman. I mean, I know there are women out there who enjoy all this stuff, but they are not typical, and to expect them all. But it seems he found his unicorn because he met a woman now. She is a flying instructor. Jackpot. She very much enjoys rugby. She enjoys badminton, which is something that he does in his free time. And I think she actually also drives motorcycles. I think he said. Yeah. So he actually had a bit of a laughing fit when I pretty much told him, don't botch it up or I'm going to come to England. I'm going to kill you. Because this woman is a freaking unicorn. If he hadn't already talked to her, I wouldn't actually believe she's real. So my last update was they are going on a date in a couple of days. And yeah, fingers crossed. Because I would be really, really happy if he finally found someone. I know he's been searching for a long time, so and he's a nice guy, so he really deserves that. He's a fun guy. Just his expectations. People, you can't have all these expectations. You have to make a compromise at some point. These were the interesting news that hit me in the last week. Other than that, I think there wasn't actually much going on, and I'm kind of surprised I've been already talking to you for 46 minutes. Hey, baby. I'm getting the bedroom eyes. What's up? Want to add your 2 cents? No, you don't. I'm feeling stared at. Oh, so tired. So, there's actually nothing else that comes to mind. So maybe I should really pull up this tag. It is the tag that Rachel Ray is currently doing, which is called the 150 random questions tag. And let's see how many of them we are actually going to do today. Going to try to squeeze more than 1 or 2 wip&chats out of that one. Hey, first question, perfect fit. What's better, having high expectations or having low expectations? I guess that depends on your mindset. There is no right or wrong in my opinion. I usually try to keep my expectations low because I prefer to be pleasantly surprised instead of being disappointed. So in my personal worldview, lower expectations always better. But I totally get if you are different and think you should have high expectations all the time. No skin off my nose, I guess. Would you rather go without junk food for a year or go without TV for a year? Well, I've gone without junk food for over a year before. It's actually not that hard. On the other hand, I probably would miss my entertainment. Most of my entertainment comes from the internet these days, but I still, from time to time, like to watch TV. Not very often. So I would say I would prefer to go without junk food and still have my TV available if I wanted. Do we even have this symbol? No, we don't. And put that away, woman. The next one we don't have either. And for that one, I think we have 2. Wow. So, describe your perfect man, woman. Has this tag been listening into me? I never had this very fixed picture of what my partner is supposed to look like. I mean, it's easy to say I found my partner at age 19 and have kept him ever since, so I never had to do all this dating crap some people go through now. It's been very easy for me, but I guess what I am looking for in my partner is mostly acceptance. So one thing my boyfriend has going for him is that he's very laid back. Some people would probably say he's not interested, which is not true. He's just very laid back, and he would never, for example, tell me to stop doing something I like to do or to spend less money on my hobbies. And I'm not telling you anything new if I tell you I spend a lot of money on my hobbies. He has always said, what you do with your money is your thing. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And he accepts all the quirks basically that I have, because I have a tendency to get very obsessive about things I like, whether it's hobbies or fandoms or I have a tendency to go all in. I don't like to do things half-assed, so to speak. And he once told me he actually admires that, because he can't do it. He can't get that invested in stuff. But I think for most people, my type of personality would be very annoying. And he accepts that, and that's one thing I think I give back to him. I accept most of the stuff he does. There are some things I tell him are really out of the line, which is, for example, if he agrees to a family vacation without asking me. Not considering my opinion on that. But I would never say he's not allowed to go if he wants to. He just is supposed to ask me before he makes decisions for me, and I think that's allowed. So no one would probably tell me I'm not accepting him when I'm not accepting that. Also, I don't want someone who constantly tries to change me. I guess this is also part of the acceptance, but I don't like when people tell their partner, I love you, baby, but I wish you were thinner. Sorry. I'm probably going to bleep that. But yeah, no. As far as looks go, I never imagined how my perfect boyfriend, husband was supposed to look, but I guess I have a thing for beards. And I like, let me put it that way. Have you seen the latest Marvel movies? Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Infinity War Captain America, hot. Endgame Captain America, meh. Get me? So, I guess I gravitate towards that. Yeah. That's all I can say, really. I never did the whole, he has to be blonde, he has to be tall. It's very hard to be smaller than me when you're a man, so I probably never had to worry about my boyfriend not being taller than me. And it wouldn't have killed me if he was. Thoughts on school dress codes? Okay. Yeah, that's a recurring discussion. We don't have school uniforms in Germany most of the time. There are schools that do, mostly private schools, I guess. And I've heard that some public schools started to establish a dress code where everyone basically wore the same kind of t-shirt, sweatshirt, whatever. And the reasoning for that was to take pressure out of things. for students that, for example, didn't have the money to go with all the expensive clothing and stuff all the time. And I guess that's a good idea. Other than that, I don't really have an opinion about it. It's, if you want to establish something like that, yeah, good for you. Please consider that kids can be very cruel, so don't make them look stupid. And choose something that actually suits everyone, I guess. Which might be a hard thing, but if you want to decide what people wear, you should do your best to find something that fits them all and doesn't make certain people look dumb. Any strange phobias? No. I'm afraid of heights, but I think that's not strange. There are certain types of bugs I don't particularly like. But nothing really strange. Nope. At what job do you see Donald Trump best fit? I guess what he did before he was president. I think that was something he did very well. I have no idea. I have to admit, my only touching points with Donald Trump before he ran for president was his guest appearance in Home Alone 2, I think it was. Him being mentioned on The Simpsons in a weirdly prophetic episode now. And yeah, I think sometimes they showed the odd clip from The Apprentice, but that show isn't a thing here, so. And I might have heard that he has German ancestors before he actually ran for president, but quite honestly, you guys in the US, most of you keep telling me you have German ancestors, so that's not very noteworthy, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I never wasted a thought on this man before the media circus around the presidency started. Who was your first crush? We had this question before. Nope, didn't do it. Who was your first best friend? My neighbor. We met in the communal sandbox of our apartment complex when I was 3 and she was 2.5. She lived in the apartment building next door. It was actually 5 apartment buildings, so it was L-shaped. And I lived in the corner building and she lived in the next one. And we met in the sandbox. And later when she turned 3, we went to the same kindergarten. Because when I went to kindergarten in the 80s, it was something you couldn't start before you turned 3. That has changed in recent years. And we stayed best friends until we finished elementary school. So I moved on to what would later become... In Germany it's a bit different, so we don't actually have junior high and high school. We have 3 major types of school that end at different times. So the lowest ends at grade 9. You graduate in grade 9, and this diploma is the lowest you can get. And then there's one that ends in grade 10. That's the middle one. And then there's one form of school which ends after, it depends on where you are here in Germany, after grade 12 or 13. And that's basically the high school diploma you can use to go to university with. With the other 2 you can't. So I went to the school that would run for 13th grade and high school diploma, and she still stayed on elementary school because you could do 2 additional years there before you decided which form of school you wanted to attend afterwards. And after she finished 6th grade, she joined the same type of school, but not the same school. So basically we were still neighbors, we still saw each other from time to time. But like it always happens when you go to different schools, you actually start to run in different circles, and you aren't as tight as you used to be. So that basically stopped around age 10. And I think we have been completely out of contact now for 15 years. Yep. Sounds about right. What is one weird thing about you? I love forensics, criminal forensics, and I think I am obsessive enough that I know enough about it that I could kill you and make your body vanish. No, probably not. Yeah, I have a huge crush on anything forensic science. And I wish I had known about it before I actually fully learned about it. So I started watching these forensic real crime shows, mostly from the US, around the time I turned 20. It was around the CSI time. So it basically when CSI came around, which I didn't watch until 2005, they started to bring in these forensic shows. So I think it was around 2000 when I started watching these. And I loved them, but I had already graduated by the time, and I had already started learning a trade. And it's also very weird here in Germany. You can't just become a criminal forensic scientist. So you can study biology, for example, and you can become a DNA expert. But you can't really become a CSI, you know. And I liked chemistry, but sciences were not my favorite thing in the world. I also never really knew what to do with it. And sometimes I wish I had known about... Yeah, basically I wish CSI had come out earlier. And then I probably would have picked a different career. And I think I would be good in it because I enjoy puzzles, and I enjoy these repetitive types of things, so following these procedures and stuff. What's driving me mad right now in my current job is that there are so little standard procedures. So we keep reinventing the wheel all the time. And I actually enjoy very much if you have a standard procedure to follow that actually brings you to your goal without any unnecessary hiccups on the way there. Yeah, that was a tangent. Top 5 TV shows you like to watch. I'm not watching any current TV shows. I mentioned that I like forensics, and that's why I usually like shows like... I liked CSI very much, but didn't enjoy it very much after Peter Williams left the show, and it turned weird afterwards. Don't know, didn't like that. But I enjoyed watching NCIS. That was mostly until they decided to take Cody DePablo out, which again turned the show around a little for me. It was still enjoyable, but I didn't like it as much. And then Weatherly decided to leave. That's when I stopped watching that show. So also reason why I don't watch that any longer. I enjoy Criminal Minds very much, but also I'm not following the current episodes. I think this has been cancelled this year as well. Not sure. I guess the most recent one I used to follow was Lucifer, but this is now on Netflix, and I have not seen the third or the fourth. Is the fourth season even out? I don't know. Is the Netflix season out yet? I have no idea. So I'm no longer very good at following TV shows. But I enjoyed Lucifer very much. The 2 seasons I binge watched basically on Amazon. I tried to watch some of the Marvel shows on Netflix. I saw the first season of Luke Cage. I found they dragged for me, so I started watching Jessica Jones and thought, well, let's try to see the rest. I don't know why I never started on Daredevil, because everyone keeps telling me that one is actually a very good show. Don't know. I'm probably not going to see that one either now. I'm not good with these TV shows. Same for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I saw the first season. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just, I think this going back every week, and I'm just more of a movie gal at the end of it. If I watch TV, it's usually more the documentary stuff or reruns of old stuff. So usually on the weekends when I sit in the living room and diamond paint, I've either Criminal Intent on, because D'Onofrio, yes. And if it's not Criminal Intent, it's usually Criminal Minds, because that's on all the time on, I think, 13th Street is the name of the TV station that shows it nearly all the day, every day. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I have not seen anything more recent. I don't really want to invest the time. I sometimes watch shows on Netflix or Amazon Prime, because you can actually watch them in one go if you have the time, and it's not so many episodes. So I'm going to watch Good Omens soon, because I actually liked the trailer, and Rachel keeps telling me it's really worth it, and I need to watch it, and I want to watch it, and I always forget. But I'm going to do it, promise. I used to be a big TV show person, but not any longer. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. What are your favorite boys' names? Oh, boy names are hard. I've been thinking about that a lot. But it's really hard. What I would like to, if I had a son now, I would like to call him Nicholas. And mainly because I want to call him Nick. I'm not sure what the boyfriend thinks of that. I know that he has some weird ideas for girls' names. Yeah. I used to be very fond of some of the French names. I liked André and René very much. But I don't think I would call my son that. I'm not super fond of giving, you know, I'm German. My kid is going to be German. And yes, he or she is going to grow up in a world where they are probably going to learn English as soon as they hit school, maybe another language as well. But they are still German, so I would like to give them a name that your base German person could pronounce. So, for example, if I look at my cousin's kids and my grandmother, they sometimes have names that my grandmother can't say. There is one boy that has the second name Maurice, which is French. It's a nice name. My grandmother can't say it. She calls him Moritz. Yeah. And my other cousin decided to call her daughter, because he is... she's insufferable. So she, of course, had to give her daughter an English name. That girl is now called Holly Grace. Okay. My grandmother can't say Grace for the life of her. So well done. But also on the other hand, I know that how it is if you have a name that no one outside of your country can pronounce. I mean, we had a lot of fun with my name. Hi, Miss Coffee. And every single time I work with someone who's not from Germany or the Netherlands, I guess, because they usually also know right away how to pronounce my name. It's always this game of telling them how to say it. They say it right maybe one time, and the next time they have completely forgotten and call you something very, very weird. I still remember that guy from India who kept calling me haiku. I don't know why. He did. So I decided I wanted to give them names that are actually German and not German, if you get me. And that's why I like Nicholas. So in Germany it would usually be Niklas or Nikolaus. But Nicholas is actually something everyone could say, and also people in other countries. I mean, for the French it's Nicolas. The English obviously know Nicholas. So it wouldn't be that hard, you know. It's just that they say it in their own language. It's basically like all the Michaels out there. We in Germany say Michael. But if you call a Michael Michael, he still knows he is meant here. And it's not wrong, so to speak. I think that's why I chose that name, and I like it. But boys' names are really, really hard. They are. And I've no idea what the boyfriend thinks. He had a phase where he wanted to give his son Japanese names, which I get. We are both very... Yeah, we like Japan very much. But... no. Just no. Yeah. So, what are your favorite girls' names? Me personally, right now, I think I would go for something simple, but not too short. Right now, these very short names are absolutely trendy, and I don't like them. You know, these 3, maybe 4-letter names. I'm not very fond of that. I like, for example, very simple names, once again, easy to use internationally, like Sophia. That's one I like. The boyfriend, for whatever reason, has decided it would be a hilarious thing to call his daughter Siobhan. Rachel knows why that is so hilarious. Or pretty much anyone Irish knows. I have told him that his not quite mother-in-law has threatened to kill him if he does that. So I guess this is off the table. And lately he told me that he thinks that Romina is a nice name. I don't know. I'm not very fond of it. It's not a bad name, but I just can't see calling my daughter that. So I guess my all-time favorite girl name is out of the race, because my not quite mother-in-law actually is called that. So yeah, not going to happen. But I think it would be something like Sophia, something simple. And yeah, I like that. But on the other hand, I guess if it ever comes to the point where we have a kid, it's going to be something completely different. Do you have any tattoos? If so, what are they? No, I don't. Do you plan on getting more tattoos, or tattoos in general? If so, what do you want to get as of the moment? I've thought about it. I guess if I ever got a tattoo, it would either be what pretty much all the parents do these days. It's the name and the date of birth of their kids. I thought of taking paw prints of my little furry babies here, and maybe one of these days, you know, when the one day comes, to have this, maybe, I don't know. And I like watercolor style tattoos. I think they are very, very pretty, but you have to get to the, well, you always have to get to the right tattoo artist, but I don't think even the good ones all can do these watercolor things. They are very special. So that's something I like, but I actually don't really intend to get a tattoo, quite honestly. I don't dislike them, but I've never shared this fascination and this, oh, I have to have one. So I don't think I will, but who knows. Ask me again in 5 years. Do you have any piercings? Do you plan on getting more? My ears are pierced. My right ear is pierced twice, and my left ear is pierced once. I don't know if that is, if this counts. But I have nothing like nose or tongue or belly piercings or anything of that kind of nature. And I don't plan to get any of that either. I have thought about getting, you know, this little, I don't know how you call this spot in the ear, close to your face, this part. This is considered, this has to be done by, I think, a real piercer. Earrings can be done at the jewelers, but that, I think, is considered a real piercing. So you have to go to a real piercing studio. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm getting too old for this kind of stuff now. Do you like hugging people? I sure do. I'm a very tactile person. So warning, if we ever meet, I'm probably going to hug you. Unless you tell me not to. Yeah. I know that as a kid, I used to touch people more than I do now, because people usually tended to tell me how annoying it was. Yeah, and then I tried to train myself out of that. I didn't fully succeed, but if I don't know you, I probably won't just touch you, so don't worry. Think of any person on Earth right now. What do you think? Who do you think of? I guess my grandma. She's been on my mind a lot lately. So yeah, that's where my brain went right away. Do you have an iPhone? Yep, it's recording me right now. I actually have two. My business phone is also an iPhone. But my personal one is better. What is the worst thing that could happen in your life right now? You mean anything except loved ones dying? If I can't get out of this job as I plan to in October. Or November, probably more like that. That would be the worst, because I don't want to do this another year. I'm counting the days already. Do you watch anime? Not anymore. I used to watch a lot of it, but I haven't in a very long time. The boyfriend still does, so he has pretty much seen anything that's on Netflix, I guess. But it's the same like TV shows. I just don't have the patience any longer to sit down for such a long time and yeah, watch all that stuff, because it's usually, if you're lucky, it's 13 episodes, are each 20 something minutes, but it can be much longer, and I just don't have the patience any longer. I think I grew out of it a little as well. tried to watch a few minutes of something that he recently saw, and it just annoyed me. Could have been the show, but I think I've grown out of it a bit. I am going to revisit what is it called? That Chihiro movie from Studio Ghibli. Can't remember what it's called in English. But that's on my top 100 movie poster, so I'm going to rewatch that at some point. I actually recorded it when it was on TV a few months ago. So I'll see if I still like what I used to like. Because I used to like that movie quite a bit. What brings true happiness? Whatever you love most, I guess. My true happiness is if I can be at home with my cats, with my boyfriend, and just spend time crafting, watch movies I love. That's the thing, I don't spend much time watching TV anymore, but I just love movies. I can actually binge watch the whole 20-something MCU movies in a week. Don't ask me why I can do that and not watch a TV show. But that's just how it is. So that's something I enjoy very much, when people just leave me be. And when, of course, my loved ones are well, no one is having troubles like we have had in the last year with all this stuff that came up. That's when I'm happy. When I don't have to be on and do things I don't genuinely enjoy. Yeah, we had passed the 1 hour mark. I'm probably going to start sounding like gibberish now. We're going to stop at question 30 as well, so we have about 9 more to go, I think. What is the most expensive thing you've ever paid for? I haven't paid for it yet. Still have to, but it's going to be my car that I bought in March. Haven't paid for that one yet because, yeah, it has something to do with my grandma. But I have to pay my parents back at some point, so they didn't give it to me as a gift. There just needed to be a bit of money gone. Let's put it that way. Other than that, my computer, I bought an iMac last year, and that thing was freakishly expensive. Yeah, but that's it. I usually don't buy very expensive stuff. If you could have any job in the world and get paid millions of dollars a year for it, what would you be and why? If I could choose any job in the world and actually live of it, let's put it that way. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars, but I would like to do something creative, for sure, because I'm actually a creative person. I always wanted to become a writer, until I found out that I'm not very good at world building. That's when I basically dropped that dream. I don't know, maybe I should try to pursue that once again. I have been told I actually have a talent for writing and for telling stories. And I guess world building, that has to be something you can just learn, right? Probably not. Yeah, it would be something creative. It could be something crafty. It could be the writing. Just something that's not an office job, I guess. Not your usual trash. The cat is snoring. I don't know if you can hear it. Do you want children? If so, how many? Yes, we are working hard on it. So hard. It's such a tragedy. Yes, we are trying to have kids. I guess it's going to be one kid. I'm turning 38 next month, so I don't think that I have too much time left to have kids, if at all, and I'm going to be happy if we manage one. If I look back on my life plans, I always wanted two. Could still happen, but who knows. Let's correct the placement. So, name and describe someone who you feel most comfortable around. Pretty much everyone I spend time with is someone I feel comfortable around. So, yeah. Weird question. If you could invent a holiday, what would it be? We have so many holidays here in Germany. I don't know if you need another one. Oh, hi, pussy. Oh, did I wake you up? Maybe National Cat Day should be a public holiday? Would you rather have summer weather or winter weather all year round? Honestly, spring or fall. I don't like it when things get too hot, but I don't like it when it's cold all the time either. The in-between is nice. So if I could choose, I would choose that. If you could make an alien race, describe what they would look like. Who came up with these questions? I probably would come up with a race of sentient fluffy cat people. Huh? Lola, would you like that? You would be their queen. Are you done with your nap? I think someone is done with her nap. What was the first thing, Lola? I can't see the question. You learned to cook. Oh god. This has been... No one really taught me how to cook. Let's start with that. Everything I know I taught myself. So what was the first thing I learned how to cook? Probably one of the first things I cooked was some kind of pasta dish. But I don't really remember. It's been such a long time. I know that my parents, because they both worked, my father full-time and my mother not quite full-time, but also not half days, they used a lot of convenience stuff. And I tried very hard to get rid of that in my own kitchen. And that's when I started to really try to learn to cook. But what the first thing was, I don't know. I don't really know. I know I started young, because I was alone a lot. Yeah, no idea. Sorry. Describe your sense of humor. A bit sarcastic? Dry? That friend I told you about who has this date on Thursday actually at some point told me I had a very British kind of humor. He was a bit surprised about that. Which is probably because most people outside of Germany think Germans don't have a sense of humor. I have no idea where that is coming from, quite honestly. We have some very good comedians. Yeah, I guess. A bit dry, a bit sarcastic, a bit snarky. But I try to stay good-natured all the time, because I don't think you have to make fun of someone and be mean while doing so. Yep, so that was question 30. We are at 1 hour and 29 minutes. I think that's a good point to stop. So I'm calling it quits at that point. And as always, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing and hitting the bell to be notified about any future video I put up. You can leave a comment down below. I would appreciate that very much. And I think Lula would too, because she is turning upside down here, belly in the air. There's also an email address below. There is my Instagram handle if you want to see progress pictures of the stuff I'm working on. Going to show you what we have managed to do in these 90 minutes. Which is a bit less than usual because I talked so much. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to that. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and we'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye.